Hey everyone, yesterday we learned about elapsed time, what it is, and we did solve, some basic problems with that. Today we're going to look at a couple of different types of word problems that you might come across. So yesterday we did problems where we were given the start time and the stop time or end time for something, and then we had to figure out, the elapsed time in between those two times. However, there are some word problems that can be presented to you in a couple of different ways. So you can have the ones we solved yesterday. Those are typically the I don't even know if they're necessarily the easiest, but they're probably the most common. And then there's also problems where you can be given the end time and the elapsed time, but not the starting time. And then there's other problems where you will be given the starting time and the elapsed time, but not the ending time or the stop time. So we're going to practice some problems like that today. So here's our first one. Okay, and we're going to use our cube strategy. Dana and her brother spent 1 hour and 35 minutes doing yard work. Then they stopped for lunch at 1:20 p.m. At what time did they start doing yard work? Okay, so let's go ahead. We've got 1 hour. Remember, these are our units, so we're going to box this in. And then 35 minutes. Okay. And so this is how much time they spent doing their yard work. And then they stopped. Okay, they stopped at 1:20 p.m. All right. So the question is, at what time did they start doing yard work? Okay. So we've got a lot of good information here. We know that they stopped at 1:20 p.m. So I went ahead and I drew a number line down here because I feel like it's a lot easier to solve these kinds of problems with a number line. Definitely helps me out. So I'm going to put the 1:20 p.m. over here. Okay, this is my stop time. I know that, 1:20 p.m. And I know for my question that I don't know when they started. Okay, but I know that they spent 1 hour and 35 minutes. So because I know this time, but I don't know this time, I'm going to have to go backwards on my number line. And it's pretty much the same as going forward. You're just, counting backwards instead. So 1 hour, I'm going to start with my 1 hour and then I'm going to go into the minutes part. So that's always the easiest thing. So I'm going to go back 1 hour first. So right here is good. So if I go back 1 hour, that would take me to 12:20 p.m. 12:20 p.m. All right. So remember that 12 o'clock is when, we reset, kind of. We go from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. All right. And so now I have my 35 minutes left. So I'm actually going to break this up. I'm going to take my 35 and I'm going to split it up because I have the 20 here. So if I had 35, and if I wanted to split it up, I want the 20 because I can take away that 20 and then I can have a nice, even hour. And then what would be left over? Like 20 plus what is 35? Okay, 15, right. So I'm going to do that. First, I'm going to take away this 20 here. So 20 minutes gone. Okay, 20 minutes. And if I take away the 20 minutes, like I said before, that will take me right to noon. So 12 o'clock is what time it would be then. 12 p.m. Okay. And now, so I've taken away an hour, I've taken away 20 minutes. Now all I have left is this 15 right here. So if I have 12 o'clock, take away 15 minutes. Oops, I don't know what that was. 15 more minutes is what I have left. Okay. And that's a quarter, right? Remember, a quarter of an hour. So if I go back, that'll be 11:45. Okay. Remember, there's 60 minutes in an hour. So in this case, if I keep taking away minutes here, I have to go into, the 11 o'clock hour. And then 15 or 60 minus 15. So make sure you guys know where I'm getting these numbers from. So 60 minus 15 leaves me with 45 minutes. Okay, so that's where this 45 comes from. Now, the big question is it AM or PM? Okay, if this was noon, okay, and if I kept going backwards, now this would be AM. Yes, okay, because anything from midnight all the way until noon is PM, and then, or sorry, anything from midnight until noon is AM, and anything from noon to midnight is PM. So AM in the morning, PM in the afternoon. So our answer then would be, what time did they start doing yard work? Okay, they started at 11:45 AM. So this is with going backwards. And like I said, using a timeline is a little bit easier for me personally. Let's try one more problem. Jerry and her family drove from their home to visit Chimney Rock State Park. Beautiful place. They left at 9:15 a.m. They drive for 1 hour and 23 minutes. What time did the drive end? So this is a problem. Let's go ahead and do our cubes. Okay. 9:15 a.m. Okay, they drove for 1 hour and 23 minutes. Okay. What time did the drive end? And that's a really important word right there. So we know what time they left. Okay, 9:15. We know how long they drove, but we don't know what time, they got to their destination. So with this one, we have our starting time, but we don't have our ending time. And for this one, you can actually use a T-chart. So I'm going to show you guys how to solve this one with a T-chart. You can use a number line as well, just, going forward instead of backward. Kind of like what we did yesterday until you use up all the time of the drive. But I'm going to show you guys with the T-chart. And so under this column here, I'm going to write my new times. And under here, I'm going to write down the amount of time that I added. And once I reach 1 hour and 23 minutes over here, whatever my number is left, I will know then that that's my ending time. So I'm going to start off with adding that hour first. So I'm going to put 1 hour over here. If I add 1 hour to 9:15 a.m., that would take me to 10:15 a.m. All right. Still in the AM. And so now it's actually pretty easy. I just have the 23 minutes. Okay, well, you know what? You can make this as easy as you want. I'm going to just do the 20 minutes first. Okay, I'm going to break that 23 up into smaller numbers that are easier for me to work with. And then if I add the 20 minutes, so it's really just as simple as adding 15 plus 20. Okay, and you get 35. So now I'm up to 10:35 over here, still in the AM. And then, okay, I've got my hour, I got 20 minutes. I just have the 3 minutes left. So 3 minutes over here. If I add that, so 35, 36, 37, 38. 10:38 a.m. Okay, so what time did oops, let's make that 8 a little bit more distinguishable. So what time did their drive end? At 10:38 a.m. We just added our time using the T-chart here. So like I said, today we were just going over a couple of different examples of word problems you might see. And I just want to show you guys the different ways you can solve. So there's the T-chart method, and then there's the number line method. And it's whichever you're more comfortable with. For your assignment today, go ahead onto IXL lesson O, not number 0, but letter O, point 7. This will give you some more practice problems to solve using elapsed time. So that's it. I'll see you guys later.